Hey, good afternoon, friends. Wanted to run something through you guys. Um, Through the week when I posted there was a video and an article during the week I posted about deleting the zeros. They were very generic articles, but there was just a couple of comments about where just a few people kind of brought forward the statement of a lop on those. Okay. I want to clear the air on this so that nobody has to even mention the word lop again. I want you to understand. I want to explain to you why a country lops, regardless of you reading an article. Okay, I want you to understand why do countries lop and why would Iraq not be lopping, so that regardless of you reading an article, you know what to expect to happen. Okay, so right now on the screen I've got Iran's inflation because it's all inflation based. And again, before you should even make a comment, you should do your own homework and due diligence to know that where that country's inflation is before you even make a comment. Okay? So, because again, what countries do with their currency is inflation based. Okay? So on the screen, we've got Iran as a reference. Let's look on the right half. Let's look at their currency notes first, and then we'll look at their inflation on the right half. Okay? So on the right half, right here, they have, let's just go through the notes they have in circulation. Okay? And then we'll check out. So right here, they do have coins. It's very similar to Iraq's. Okay? They have a 100 note, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, and that's so they go all the way from like 100 to 100,000. Okay? Now, let's look at their inflation on the left half of the screen. All right, so this would be their inflation. As you see, going clear back to July of last year, it was around 39.4%. Okay? Very high, just basically almost right at 40%. And then as I got into Q1 of this year, 24, it dropped from 38 to 35.8, and then March 32.3, and then April 30.9%, May 31%, and June 31.9%. Okay, so it's still right around 32% as of June. Okay, but again, so because they have high inflation, really high inflation, that's why they have notes with 3 zeros. Okay, let's cross compare this to Iraq. Let's see where Iraq is. Okay, now with Iraq, here's Iraq's inflation right here. Now you guys already know the notes out, the size of the notes and the currency notes within the country of Iraq, so I'm not going to bring those in. But here's their inflation. As of May of last year, it was only 3.4%, basically 3.5%. Okay, so from May through roughly December of last year, it was 3.9. Then at the beginning of 24, it dropped again in January of 24 of this year. It dropped below 1% in January. Then in February, it was 0.6%. In March, it went up to 1.6. Okay, that was March. And then April, it went to 3%. So as you guys see, you're talking from 3% with Iraq clear to 30 to 40% with Iran. Apples to oranges. Okay? That's the reason why Iraq wants to remove the zeros. They don't need all the extra zeros on their notes to reduce their inflation. It's already where it should be for them to remove the 3-0 notes. They're ready, based on their inflation, to remove their 3-0 notes. I wanted you to understand that. So if you were to go back and review the article I posted for you guys yesterday, if you were to reread that, you would clearly see that all of these, the step of either adding zeros to the notes or removing zeros to the notes, is completely hinged or based on where that country's inflation is. Again, Iraq's ready to remove it versus Iran needs to keep them because they have extremely severely elevated inflation. Now, just to touch on the rate too, in that article, it said the rate's going to be 1 to 1. I want to touch on that. when they said the rate's going to be 1-to-1, they're not telling you it's going to be $1. This is what 1-to-1 means. In fact, if you guys have heard from any other content creators that they will be taking zeros off the exchange rate, that is a content creator you should not be listening to. That's a content creator you should stop listening to, because in that statement, they admitted to you they don't understand this investment and they misled you. Okay? Regarding the statement of deletion of the zeros, any content creator that references or brings the exchange rate into their explanation does not understand this investment. Deletion of the zeros has nothing to do with the exchange rate. Okay? Deletion of the zeros simply means removing currency notes with multiple zeros on them. That's all it simply means, nothing more. Again, deletion of the zeros has nothing to do with the exchange rate. Now, but back to the statement of 1-to-1. Here's what that means. Again, it doesn't mean the value is going to be $1. They will never tell you what the exchange rate's going to be. Okay? 1-to-1 means this. It means the purchase power before the rate changes is going to be the same after the rate changes. So here's my point. Today, before the rate changes, a 25,000 dinar note today, pre-rate change, will have the same purchase power as a 25 note after the rate changes, is what 1-to-1 means. It means the currency before the rate changes will have the same purchase power as the new currency after the rate changes. It's that simple. Okay? Now, on the other side of this, they've also stated, and I have two of the original articles from the central bank that have stated two currencies will coexist together at the same exchange rate value. And here's what that means. Again, that means pre and post purchase power before and after the rate change will be the same. But now here's what you have to look at. There's a multiplier in this. The exchange rate against the dollar is your multiplier. Let's say after the rate changes, the new exchange rate's $3 for easy math. That's your multiplier in this. So after the rate changes, since all the currency has a value of $3 being the multiplier, a 25,000 note times $3 would be worth 75,000, and after the rate change, a 25 note is worth $75. It's that simple. This isn't a difficult investment to understand. So I just wanted to clear the air on that, so that going forward, if we have any more articles that state or videos that state delete the zeros, nobody has to come back and use the word lop on any reason. I want you guys to understand this so that you do understand it and you don't question anything. Okay, we shouldn't have questions pertaining to that. And I'm glad you guys put that type of information out so I can help clear the air. You guys are the best. Have a great weekend and take care.